Hey guys, so I'm gonna go and chill on the love sack right now. Basically, it's like a huge beanbag, and I'm here with my dog Daisy. She's holding up the phone. But we're gonna go and chill right now. Right now, I'm just drinking tons of tea, and I just went out and, I'm just here snuggling with her and all that. And I went and did some orders, and it's so hot outside. I just realized I really need to drink tons of tea and all that before I go out. So that's kind of why I am just gonna chill here for a little bit and just to talk to you guys and all that. So I'm gonna go and tell you guys a little bit on what is going on in my head lately and all that. So yesterday I went and hung out with my family, and today I told myself I'm gonna do a video, and I was not feeling it. But I told myself I really should. Every time I don't feel like it, it just is. I'm just gonna keep putting it off, essentially. And so I'm gonna go and do a video. So I wanted to go and talk about pretty much on where do I get a lot of my ideas. I'm about to do my second business model. I've planned it out in my head, and I'm gonna go and tell you guys how I honestly feel about it and all that, and where do I get half of my ideas. So a lot of my ideas are kind of out of the box ideas, and I started to think a certain way, I believe, when I was like 10 or 12. And I believe that's when I really started. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't think it was possible because of my background and all that. If you want to go and look into my background, there's a lot of videos about that on TikTok. But pretty much I've been planning entrepreneur work since I was probably 10, and I've always wanted to do entrepreneurial work. And so I went and kind of throughout my life I would go and plan things, and I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna go and experience life, and I'm gonna go and learn throughout it, and then when I'm ready, I'm gonna do entrepreneur work. And so my first idea was I went and read this book called Mandy, and if you guys been following me, I've already done this video, a longer video about this, and I'm just going to shorten it. But there's this book called Mandy, and it's about a girl. She was an orphan, and she was very mistreated, and then she went to the forest, and she found this cabin that was really dirty. She cleaned it up, and then she made it into a safe place. And so ever since I read this story, I kind of always wanted to create something similar to it. And after that, in the story, I can't really remember what happened, but I just remember the concept and always envisioning this scene in my head of tiny homes that is a safe place for people. And so throughout my life, I have kind of created in my head a world that is very, I don't know, very like a magical place where there's like unicorns, there's just lots of magic. It's this happy place, it's a safe place, it's a world where people are fulfilled and stuff like that. And so I always had this envisioned in my mind, and I went and thought I was gonna do cleaning, and there was a voice in my head, and probably going to, it probably won't make sense to people, but there was a voice in my head telling me I was going to do cleaning. And I was like, no, not gonna do it. That's kind of weird. I don't understand it. I was saying that I was gonna do something that's incredible. or something, and I couldn't seem to understand it. I couldn't pinpoint it. It didn't make sense to me. So I would just ignore it, and I would do everything possible not to clean. I did not clean when I was young and all that, and I wouldn't clean until I stubbed my toe somewhere in my bedroom, and then I would start cleaning. Pretty much. So I stubbed my toe a lot when I was a child, and so I kind of went and forgot this, and I throughout my life I've discussed a lot where I've kind of lived a life where I would react a lot of the time, and it was something, I felt like something would happen and then I would react, blah blah blah. Anyway, so having this kind of thought process in my head, I went and forgot about me, like, hearing that voice that I was going to do cleaning, whatever. And I got to the point where I thought my dream job that I wanted didn't pan out. And then I went and like kind of got desperate, I suppose, because I was looking for other 9-to-5s. I did side hustles, blah blah, but I wanted to just settle down, because what I was taught for a young age is you're supposed to get a 9-to-5 and then you stick with it for the rest of your life and then you're dead. And so that's kind of what I was doing. I was wondering, why was it that I wasn't able to find this? And honestly, it really bothered me. I did have other 9-to-5s, but I wasn't like sticking with it, I suppose. And so I went and I decided to do side hustles or whatever. So I do delivery food and all that, and then I do like random jobs. And before I knew it, since I was in this desperate state of mind, I suppose, I went and signed myself up for like cleaning jobs, and then everything was all good. And then I did organizing, and I really realized that I could use my skill sets about psychology. So I've looked throughout my entire life of psychology and all that, and really looked into patterns and all that. So I knew when I was 10 to 12 that there were patterns in the world, and go look for it. And if you figure out patterns, and then you can go, and basically at that point, if you understand patterns and you can figure it out, then you can go and do whatever it is that you want to do in life, pretty much. And like, there's a pattern for every single thing that you could think of. And so I would find patterns in people throughout my life. And I discussed in my past that I would pick up on things more so than other people, because I was in survival mode a lot of my life, without even really knowing that I was. I just, I didn't understand. So a lot of my thoughts were I gotta survive, I gotta, have my basic needs, blah, blah, blah. And so I did a lot of behaviors of someone that is surviving, I suppose, but I didn't know this. And so I went and pretty much I would go and, I would learn about psychology, and then I would go apply it in a smaller scale, I suppose, on certain groups of people. And those that don't know me, so when I was younger, I was very quiet person. And I kind of observe, and I would kind of if there's a crowd, I'd be kind of in the background, and I would just watch everyone pretty much, and I would just soak it all in. And then I have high analytical skills, so I would go and review everything, and kind of memorize the behaviors. And so I would try to find certain patterns and all that wherever I went. And I would not even talk about this, to be honest, because I always thought it's weird and people just don't talk about this stuff. And so I just kind of kept it in my head about my conclusions of whatever pattern that I saw in people. So I've realized that when we like, so everything has a pattern. So for humans, it's habits. And basically, if you become really good at it, then you can go and predict what that person is going to do. In a way, it's mind reading. So for the first time, if you go and look very closely, by the fourth time, then if they do it again, pretty much you can predict exactly what they're going to do next, because it's just they do it over and over and over again unintentionally. And so I went and kind of pulled together all of my information that I reviewed throughout my life, and I would apply it into my organizing style. Because if you're an organizer, you're looking into people's habits, and you're really looking at, if you're really good, you're looking at them at a psychological stance, pretty much is what you're doing. And if you're an organizer, you go and move things around for people, and you're, making things a little easier access. But in order to be really good, you have to understand intentional placement of certain items. And so for an example, like if you're an organizer and you don't want them to watch TV, well, then you can go hide the TV you can hide the TV remote from them, for like an example. And that would be like a habit. Like if you know that is such a distraction, then you can go and hide that remote, and they can go look for it all day if they want. But I went and used my psychology skills into my organizing. And since I have kind of like an empath kind of personality and all that, and I had to pick up on things at a very young age in order to survive and all that, because I was in an orphanage and I literally had to like fight for my food sometimes. And so I had to use my smarts to go and survive, or else I'd be dead. And so I've had to learn to pick up on things that other people are not picking up, so that way I would not die. And so I went and did this a lot, to go and apply what I picked up when I was a child and throughout life, and all of the different all of the conclusions I've come up with by being a bystander, by watching groups of people, figuring out the patterns. I would figure out the desire of my client, and then I would go and organize their home in a very intentional way. And so that was my business model. And there were other factors involved. So I have a certain like personality quiz that figures out how the person thinks, and I would do that in my head, and then I would go and use that too. But I think the reason, and people didn't really understand that I was doing it, but they were unintentionally doing their goals that they've always wanted to do, and they couldn't seem to understand why, but they were so happy their goal happened. And so that's when the tips were coming in. But yeah, so I went and did this a lot, and that's kind of my idea. My thought process was that since I know that humans have a pattern, and if you can figure it out to the T, then you can go and change people to have more fulfilled lives, and then go and pretty much go and do whatever they've always wanted. And so if everyone has habits, for an example, So if you really look closely at, people that are homeless, people that you would call average, and then people that you call rich, it's all habits. And if you can figure that out, then that's a massive thing, because then I honestly thought this thought process that I have would go, and it could possibly go and help the homeless community, and maybe lower the amount of people that are homeless, because I do know that this is such a huge problem. I have done a video on TikTok at the very beginning of why I wanted to very badly to do something, and then that would go and create a very safe place, the way that I envisioned for just like that book Mandy, pretty much. And so pretty much that was my first business model, and really realized for something like this, I definitely need lots of help, like lots of other cleaners and organizers, because these jobs are very big. And adding on top of the sales and entrepreneur events, and then along with and then social media involved, and all these things I love, but it's just like for something like this big of such a massive jobs and all that, because these jobs takes hours on end to do, then I would need lots of help and lots more money, I believe, to accomplish this, because I went and used up all the tips that I did receive from people, and all that, and other life things that happened and all that. But that was my first initial business model, and I knew this was going to take tons and tons and tons of time to go and make this idea happen. But I knew through consistency, yes, it's definitely possible. Like I am 99.9% so sure of this certain organizing tactic that it literally goes and really could change lots of people's lives that are homeless, because it's all habits and it's a pattern. And so that was what I really wanted to do. And I would get people off the street, and then I would put them in the tiny home community that I created. And then my business model, the first one, would go and really go and do the professional organizing in the style that I know it should be done, because it's through a psychological stance. And then cleaning. So cleaning is really just methods and all that, but it just gives you a sense of feeling like starting over, and I do know that. And then organizing really tackles on the psychological levels of people and really tackles the patterns of people. And so if you go and incorporate both of those two ideas, then yeah, it would really tackle the issue of homelessness. I firmly believe in this, but I'm thinking that, I maybe probably went and started this a little too fast, and maybe I should have done my other business models. Each of my business models that I have created or thought in my head really tackle a worldwide issue and a different form of it. And my entire goal as an entrepreneur is to bring in hope. I think that is my strong point. And I think that hope is so many forms of it. So something like that first model, to really go and push how much a psychological organizing can do for someone, and it really tackles their patterns, then people would see the their goals are actually happening, and then more and more people would want it. But yeah, it's really rough and all that, but I want my ideas out, so I later will go and release my papers on the scientific, everything is scientific. Like, I have done my research and I go through everything, like through psychology on how, like, why I do what I do, and my science behind it. And I know it's effective because I've done this so many times, and people will accomplish their goals without them even knowing it. And then yeah, so I just I just think that I need to wait a little bit more and show people that my papers that I have created, and really show people that I honestly believe that this is the way that we could go and tackle the homeless issue. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I have looked into so much the systems and all that. Systems is a pattern, guys. And so I just go and I really looked into it and how people get there and all that. And I honestly think that if this was incorporated, then honestly, this issue could be tackled. And then that's just my real goal, is to bring in hope so much. The unicorn is a sign of hope, because we all are unicorns in some kind of form, meaning like we all have magic, but there has to be like a certain change in our lives to bring out that magic. And a lot of people can't seem to understand that, and that's what I try to do. So right now I'm doing this as a side hustle and all that, and that way I can go and get more, because for my business it was just really rough to do everything on my own and all that. But I firmly believe, like 99.9% sure, like this is how we could tackle the homeless issue, like, and how to get more people to wake up and be more fulfilled and realize that, like, we are in a world where we can make whatever reality that we want, and we think we can't because of the conditions that we are in, and we just don't know it. And so the way that I do this, obviously, like, I know to wake people up in a different consciousness is to go and use affirmations and the mirroring technique. So I use affirmations as a way to get people to wake up. And so I would go and find certain, like, whatever, if they have quotes that they are very compelled to, then I would go and hang it up, and so that way they always see it, and immediately when they wake up, or in their bathroom or something, that's just right there in their face and all that. So if they're on the toilet a lot or in the bathtub a lot, everyone's habit is very different, so it just really depends on the placement and all that. And then, like, for for the mirroring technique, so people that are a little more awake, I think, will understand what I am discussing. But the mirroring technique, so when we look in the mirror, like, some people don't understand this, but whatever like happens in our lives pretty much is just a mirror back on how we feel in a truthful stance on who we are as people. And so like, if you feel that you are this or that, then it's going to be reflected back to you exactly that. And so we're supposed to go through life to go and learn this. So I do the mirroring techniques for my clients to go and make them see the way that I want them to see. So for an example, I would go and put up certain affirmations right near their mirror, and so right when they're looking at themselves, immediately the brain is reading it, and slowly but surely it will change that mindset pretty much. And so putting up something that they're very proud of, put that near the mirror, and so immediately the shift will happen. Pretty much is how I do it. And so that's how you wake people up, is having certain habits and make them see, like, oh, I am safe. There's abundance in this world, and there's I can create whatever reality and all this stuff, and the world is actually beautiful and all that. And so I kind of go and intentional placement of things to get them to see that light that I see them, because like I discussed, I kind of go and I kind of sense people's desires without them really telling me. It's just how I've always been as a survival tactic. And so that's kind of really my goal and all that. And then too, my second business model is very similar, but it's in a different fashion. So I am actually planning it, and I'm a little bit, I guess, nervous, to be honest, about this second business model, because it's just so different, and people don't like different, and it is what it is. And so I'm gonna transition it slowly but surely, but it is or a vending machine, but I'm doing it a little differently, and I want to go and wake people up. So I am I'm looking at vending machines, and those that don't know me, I do have an education degree, and so I kind of know how a classroom is set up. And I thought to myself, I've always wanted to be a teacher, and I was honestly very devastated about like what happened and all that, because going to school, making all A's, getting a master's program, and getting a scholarship and all that. It's just, you do all this work, and then and it's very devastating feeling, guys. But I do want to be a teacher, but in a different way, not in a way where I am feeling boxed in. I want to be more free. And I had to go and change the way my thought process is. And I have to view like the outside world is my classroom. And I am the teacher, and I decide what I want to teach and how it's done. And so basically, let's just say we are in the classroom, and teachers communicate, and if you're like in an elementary classroom and all that, there's bulletin boards, and teachers communicate through bulletin boards. So they'll put up some beautiful like art and all that, a beautiful scenery or all that. And so I understand this, so I'm using my vending machine as a bulletin board situation. So that way, when people flock to this vending machine, then there is it's like a bulletin like way. And so I will go and put up whatever lesson that I want, and then and then I will have affirmations on the items. And I know that we humans are addicted to sugar and all that, and that is what's in vending machines and all that. And so I have to use my psychology skills and understanding on how people work, because I was in college for 4 years, and I know what people do when they go to a vending machine. They'll normally, because I remember I was reading or whatever, and people would flock to this vending machine, and they would go and put in their dollar, and then they would go get a candy bar, and while they're doing this, they are on their phone, right? And so pretty much, and then they would go and eat their candy bar, and they're still in this sad state of mind. And so I think that if I use my psychology skills, so I know that people are addicted to sugar, that is, it's candy bars and Coke, whatever, in these thing. And then I put affirmations, and each affirmation has a certain phrase or whatever, and there will be a connection. So I'll go and make videos for each affirmation to teach a lesson. And then, they will go onto my channel, and they can go and decide if they want to follow or not. That's their decision. Then, since this is like a bulletin situation, I am putting up like poems or whatever it is, stories that I want, and I am going to put up certain facts up, and I want to go and make a scavenger hunt for people. And so instead on their phone, when they're waiting for this certain item to drop or whatever, then they will go and be interested in doing a scavenger hunt. And scavenger hunt will be whatever lesson that I want to teach. And then each lesson is going to have a book along with it. So I'm going to work with other businesses that want to work with me, and they'll go and look for this book, and I will go and put it into give it to another business owner, and they'll hold on to it, and they'll get the book, and then I'm gonna have a personal letter that is with it about what I've learned. So we humans learn from each other, and that is so powerful that we go and do that. And I understand that some people are not into YouTube, and so that is why I'm doing personal letters of what I've learned from the book, and only the people that find this book will have the letter and whatever I learned. I will not do a video of that. That is strictly for them, and between them and I, pretty much, is the plan. And I think that it is incredible that we just learn from each other as much as possible. I understand some people are not into the internet, and so that is why I want to go and write personal letters to the person that really wants this. And I think that a way to go and incentivize people is to, people are very motivated by money, and I've literally it's just obvious. We all know this. And, I watched the show Anna Delvey, and I do not condone her doing what she did. That was very wrong. But she does have a point that people will do anything for money, and I think that is a high motivator. So I'm thinking that there will be only a tiny bit, like literally probably like $1, okay? And but as time goes, then, and the more attraction that I get to, with this idea, the more that will be in there. Now, it'll never be like $100,000 in there, because I do not want people shooting each other for money. That is not the idea. But it'll be enough to cover maybe someone's groceries that are struggling, I believe, because I want this to be in communities, and that I can go and change their mindsets towards money. And that way, the mind will change. So I incorporated affirmations, and I incorporated, we learning from each other, and then incorporating on people go and really go out more and all that. And since I'll be working with other business owners, then they can go put in their coupon with a book if they want. And I'll be doing a certain way. So the name that I came up with is I'm not going to tell you guys yet, but the name that I came up with is this. I used to get made fun of when I was young, and I would put this on my social media and all that when I was a teenager, and I thought it was cute, I guess, but I got made fun of big time. And something that I've learned in life is that when people make fun of you and all that, you go and you try your best to go and make something positive out of it. And you use that as your strength. So I'm going to go and use the name of whatever I'm going to name it. And I'm going to make this into something powerful. And then what was it? And then I forgot. So basically that. And then, and I've been told a lot that I'm pretty stupid because I take things literally. Sometimes I do. And so wherever this book is going to be, you'll find that, literally it's going to be that. So if you guys are interested, then be on the lookout of where the heck I put this specific vending machine and all that. But I think this will be a very effective way, and a way that I can go and demonstrate my qualities of a teacher and really go and teach my pupils pretty much. And I'm a little bit nervous to about what people will think and all that, but I firmly believe that this can bring up attraction, and I can go and make a platform for other entrepreneurs. So if I go and make this very, very successful, then other business owners will see the money and will want to. So it'll be a platform for entrepreneurs. So if there's an entrepreneur that does snacks, they can go and put that in my vending machine, and it'll give them that platform to have their name out. And that is my thought process on my second business model, to really help people go and wake up and to go and change that mindset and make it in a fun way pretty much, and incentivize people. And maybe I could go and slowly lean them away from sugar. But right now we are addicted to sugar, and I just have to accept that, and have to accept that we humans are addicted to our phones. So if there's a way I can go and incorporate the phone and whatever message I'm trying to get across, then I think that this would be an excellent way to do it. And I recognize that I'm probably going to get made fun of, but I've just accepted a lot of my life. I have been made fun of a lot for my ideas and thought I should not share. But I have to remind myself all the time, we humans are going to die, and whoever is watching is going to die in 100 years or less. And so we should not care so much on what other people think of us if we are here to try to inspire and whatnot, and really try our best to bring out what is in here out there to make a better world, honestly. And so each one of my business models that I have come up with since I was 10 or 12, and then all the way from now, it's all been planned. And because I've been a bystander for a lot of my life, and I look maybe young and all that, but I'm a lot older and all that. But I really deeply think a lot on our the way that people think and how to better it, and really bring out my ideas out, so that way we can have more people that are conscious and live more happier lives and know that they can create whatever reality they really want. But I know that in order for whatever business model that I have created, I'm going to definitely need support and all that. And I really hope to show people my perspective of what I think the world really can be. Honestly, I have legitimately dreamt and literally thought for all the time about this homeless community that has tiny homes, that has this 3D printed, and there's a company that goes and really strives to improve their lives, and then to go and have a vending machine that really goes and helps people wake up and realize, like, we are in a world like that. It's just filtered. Everything is filtered and we don't know it. And honestly, we can do whatever we really want and we just don't see it. And I honestly think that in order to go and solve multiple issues and all that, it has to bring out hope. Like, there has to, but it needs to be in different forms of it, and it to be connected in some way, because I've looked into how problems are, and honestly, the way problems are is it always comes back. We think that we solved the problem. No, it's not. It's literally comes back, but it's always in a different form. And to go and combat that, I honestly think that hope has to be involved, and to go and really solve an infinite amount of problems is to bring in many forms of hope into the world. And so that's honestly what I deeply feel. And I think that obviously we all know hope is so powerful that it drives people to do things that is just there's no words for it. Honestly, there is no words. And so that is my goal as an entrepreneur, is to bring in different forms of hope and make people realize that if all these different forms of hope can go and create an infinite amount of problems by the time I'm dead, because I have a limited amount of time and all that, and I might as well go and try my very best to go and bring that out. And for the longest time I've been worried for a very long time about what others are going to think, and I'm really weird and all that. It's just really strange to think in these kind of ways and all that, but that's honestly like you think, oh, it's like it won't make sense, but over time I think it will. And I have so many ideas. So if you're wondering how in the world do I have all these ideas, it's because I've been planning it since I was 10 to how old I am right now. And I've looked into the psychology of people and the way society is created, and the way that we think and all that. And it's just something that I'm highly interested in all that. And I think that we humans really want a better world, and we ask ourselves, how do we do it, and feel it's so impossible because our certain conditions make us feel that way, or our genes, that hereditary past trauma just goes and it replays itself over and over, and we just don't know until we wake up from that. And so I think this is my way on bringing in hope for that, a better future and all that. But yeah, I have like each one of my business models that I have created in my head, that I have played billions of times over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I have, but I've never really discussed it to anyone, because I've been told for a very long time, you should not be thinking like this. Nobody should be thinking like this, like, and all that. You should be thinking about like your 9 to 5, and you go and have kids, and then you go and look pretty, and you go and I don't know, go and like your daily life problems, I suppose. But it's just, this is kind of the thing that I think about on a daily basis, and never discussed it, because I've been told that I'm stupid, and I'm, I have nothing to give, and I'm this or that. And so I just shut my mouth. I just did that. And so I'm really trying my best to bring out what I've been thinking for years on end. And I just thought that I was just gonna die with these ideas, and they just didn't matter. But the reason why I've always been very honest from the beginning of what my intention was. And like on my last channel, for some reason I can't get into my last channel, there's a video of me saying these affirmations I had on my mirror. And I said, why do I want $1 million? It's because I wanted to go and test what my opinions are, and because I'm not sure, am I even correct at all? What if I'm completely wrong in my opinions about the world to improve it and all that? Like I'm not sure, and so I want $1 million to test my theories out and all that. And did like the way I played it out in my head is even correct? Because who knows, I could be completely wrong on the idea of how to solve the homeless problem. I could be completely wrong for all I know. And I could be completely wrong on go and try to wake people up and see that they can create whatever reality they want, and that they are safe and money is abundant. But I want to test it. I want to see like, is there a way to bring in that hope for people? But I have to do in a way that is already been done, which is vending machines have been done. It's obviously people do vending machines because people know they're addicted to the sugar, and they'll keep coming back, and they'll think, oh, it's only $1, and then they'll just keep coming back, and so they make high profits from it. That's why they do it. And so I have to go and use something that's already been invented, and then change it a bit, and that way it can do more hope for people, not in a way that is in a negative light on, go and prey on people that are addicted to things and all that. And I know that some vending machines have like all these visuals of bright stuff, and it's kind of like a computer screen, and so that's why they keep coming back on a psychological stance, and all their money goes to that. Or they'll have like games on there because they know that they'll make high profits. And you have to think outside the box, I think, to go and create the better world out there, bring in that hope and all that. It's just something that I've thought so much of, and thought was so weird and should not be disgusting. But I just saw this video where you should not care what people think. Like in 100 years, all the people that you talk to or even seen videos of you are going to be dead. So does it really matter? And I really want to see, are my ideas correct? Is this even the right method to go and solve that certain issue? And all that. I'm not sure. I feel I'm 90.9% sure that this is how you do it, because I played it in my head so many times, and seeing what, like, if this or that happened and all that, and catching those mistakes, and then honestly, like, go and testing out certain theories out in a smaller scale throughout life until I was ready to be on social media and all that. Because for the longest time, I thought I was not ready to be on social media. I've always been surrounding myself about self-improvement videos since 5th grade. Never commented, just would watch, dissect, and just go over the video and just look very closely on everything and all that. But I just never said anything because I knew I needed to go through certain life things to get me where I am today, why I am on social media, why I'm really trying my best to go and bring out whatever conclusions that I have in my head about the world, society, and my thoughts on really trying to create that better world. But yeah, those are just only the 2 business models. I have 10 business models and all that. But honestly, I'm really here to go and really try to see, are my ideas correct? Like, is this the way to go and solve this certain issue and all that? And I thought a lot, like, okay, like, if I had $1 million, do I want to just go and spend it and have a blast? That's boring, honestly. To me, like, I want enough so I can go and, have the life that I want, but, like, go coffee shops, Chipotle, whatever it is. But after that, I'd be bored because there's nothing else stimulating my brain. Like, I got everything I wanted, pretty much. I want to go and whatever I created in my head, this magical place and all that, can this be brought out in the real world? I'm not sure. I have no idea, but I think it is. I think this is the way. But yeah, it's just my idea and all that, and I'm looking into vending machines, and but there have been a lot of times where I was like, I'm a little too scared and all that, but it is something that I really believe in, and something I want to be a teacher. I've always wanted to be a teacher, and to I remind myself that if I was a teacher and all that, and the outside world are my pupils, that would mean that there's so many people of different ages and different backgrounds and all that, and like, how incredible would that be to be able to make a classroom, to be honest. That's just something that I've always thought of, and but I want to incorporate my education degree in a different form and all that, and make the vending machine as a bulletin board situation and all that. And so that way, when they flock to it, people, the people that will only know the scavenger hunt stuff, they have to flock to the vending machine. I will not post it because I want people to go there and all that, because I want other entrepreneurs to have a platform to go and be able to have their products out, because I want to be an entrepreneur that can give other opportunities for people that maybe do not have the same opportunities that I do and all that, because I know that we all have different leverages and where we are, and some people are just born with higher leverage, and I think that we have to learn what is our leverage and know that we can go and help out people that are not that has that leverage and all that, because someone that is born into a third world country does not have the same leverage that I have. Like, I have way more leverage And so I understand that, and that is what I want to do, is to go and create leverage for other entrepreneurs that are visionaries and all that. But yeah, I just know that, it may be a little strange, my ideas and all that, but I firmly do believe in this. And something that I have dreamt for years of my life. I came up with all this when I was like 10 or 12 because it's just something that I've always thought, like, this is the way it can be solved, honestly. And just, I've been dreaming about this for years on end, guys. You have no idea. Played it billions of times over and over and over and over and over in my head, because I firmly believe that this is the way how to bring in hope. And it has to be in different forms of it. And once all these forms are out, then infinite amount of problems can be solved. And that's just what I firmly believe in, and hope that you guys go and see what I'm seeing, because I honestly really want to go and show people my perspective. Pretty much whenever you go and look through camera lens, you're seeing camera lens through somebody. So essentially you are putting glasses on to see my point of view of how I see the world and my experiences, and basically what I'm trying to achieve and all that. But yeah, that's just what I really want to do, is to go and show my perspective honestly, and you put your glasses on to see what do I see in my lens, pretty much. So yeah, hope you guys like it. This was a very long video, and I just discussed just the 2 business models, but yeah, I just really wanted to get out there what I'm really striving for and all that, and what kind of entrepreneur that I really want to be, and really saw myself for years on end, and I just didn't do anything because I had certain beliefs that it just wasn't possible. And that's why I created a channel, to go and show people that you can think outside the box and go and create something that's so incredible and all that, and you can live that life that you want. Because honestly, these ideas are just so odd and out of the box. Like, honestly, like, I don't think there is anyone else in this world is going to have a stuffed animal unicorn that's ginormous and doing vending events and doing sales work and all that, and convincing people that how incredible this organizing cleaning business can do for them and all that. Or a vending machine company that is very outside the box and all that. And so that is why I created this channel, to see these out of the box ideas is definitely possible, and it can be successful and all that, but it just takes time. You just have to keep believing in it and all that. But yeah, just go and let me know in the comments on what you guys think and all that. But honestly, I've always wanted to get out the patterns that I see in the world, honestly, and really why I am, like, all the patterns that I have figured out, and then me trying to go and apply it into the real world to create hope.